Welcome back to the Blue Collar Off-Road Podcast episode. What's the episode?
245.
245. I'm Graham. I'm here with Luke, Richie, and Logan. And I don't know what we're talking about today, but it's been a minute.
I saw you've had an accident and somehow lost your Cherokee's nose. Logan may or may not have finally done something interesting. I beat the brakes off of my Jeep in a manner that I don't think I have in fucking years. And Richie did something that's mildly entertaining. So we got a little bit here. So
yeah, where do you want to start?
Let's answer the question. Why did I get a Snapchat of the nose of your new rig on the floor?
Huh?
I can't remember if we had covered that last time
You got a
talked.
Snapchat of it?
Not a Snapchat, I'm sorry, a text. You sent pictures of the nose cut off.
Now I have too many.
Blue one.
Oh, the blue one? So the blue one, the nose has been cut off of the blue one for two reasons. One, because I was going to do it anyways, and two, because I needed space, because I have 3 vehicles in the shop right now, and I don't know how many square feet a Cherokee takes up, but I think it's probably about 150 square feet, roughly, with 1 tons under it. And if you have 2 of those, then you only have 300 square feet of working space, roughly. And then I have a YJ that probably takes up 100 square feet of working space. So now I've got 200 square feet. And then I have tools and other things that also need space. So you don't have a lot of square footage at the end of the day. And the nose adds a lot. So cutting the nose off gave me like 50 square feet of, maybe that's excessive of a number, but you know, it saved me some space, especially lengthwise. So I can pull shit in and move things around. And that's that. It wasn't moving anyways. So yeah, that's why that's cut off. I'm gonna cut a lot more off of it once I have the YJ completely buttoned up, which is fast approaching. We are nearly done with that, and I'll touch on that. I don't want to touch on it right this second. We'll jump into that in a little bit. But yeah, the blue Jeep is gutted. I took the dashboard out. I'm really torn. I've never seen another Cherokee with a light blue, like baby blue interior.
Yeah, you should put that back in. That'd be sick.
I saved it all. It's all in good shape. So it's probably going to go back in, but at the same time, with what I'm doing with it, I just don't know. I don't know what my end goals with the dashboard are going to be. So I'm going to try. I'm going to try to put it back in just because the color's fucking cool. Even if it's only in for like, you know, a period of time after I finish it, and then I say, fuck this thing, it's a piece of shit, and put like an aluminum dash or something in it, because the firewall is getting cut. I don't know to what extent yet, but
a little massage here and there.
No. It's probably going all below the washer or the wiper cowl, and maybe even above the wiper cowl if I get annoyed at it enough.
That's a lot.
Yeah, it doesn't need to get cut that high, but you know,
you want the room.
I don't need the room at this point in time, but I'm building this thing how I want. Like this is not I'm going to have it on the trails doing stuff next year. This is a longer term deal that's going to, you know, I still have a lot of thinking to do about it. I've done some mock-ups on Bentech and then Infusion, just with like drivetrains and the tube work for the belly, and just trying to figure out like what parts I keep and what's going where. So, which is perfect because I don't have any time to work on it, but I have put, you know, a handful of hours into, you know, just messing with the things here and there. I do want to use, they make like, Omar at work was showing me probably a month ago, but he scanned like his bumper. He's trying to do a bumper on his Nissan thing that he's building, and I didn't realize that it makes sense. All, you know, newer phones have a LiDAR camera in it pretty much, so you can use any old shitty ass like scanner app and it comes out okay. It's not, you know, professional quality, but it's good enough for me to be like, oh, how big is an LS? Well, we just scan this shitty one, and then we scan the NV4500, and then we scan a 205 or a doubler or whatever, and then we just plop them all together in CAD, and then put that in the tube chassis I've got, and that'll give me an idea, like, is this even remotely gonna fit? I'm
That's
not
so
looking for, like,
fucking smart, though.
detailed shit. I just need, like, a rough idea, and right now, like, what I did is what I would think as a not CAD trained engineer, not trained engineer or CAD uh, guru in any respect. I just measured like how long is the engine, how wide is the engine at its widest point, how tall is it, and I built a box right with like a couple things sort of chamfered in. Where like obviously the engine
The
isn't a
V
complete
and
box,
shit.
right? Yeah, you got like a little bit of a V shape, so roughly you're gonna have the space, but headers and other things. So um, especially for like a belly. Like all I really need to know is how low does the transmission hang, like relative to the engine and the oil pan, and what rough shape, how wide is the transfer case. That's the biggest thing. Is like where's the drivetrain going to sit on the belly with a 205 hanging off of it? Because excuse me, that's what I'm going to do is the 205 and maybe something else. I don't know. Depends on how where I want to go with it. I think with the NV and a Dodge first gear and just a 205, that might and deep gearing in the axles, that might be okay.
Hang
It's
on,
gonna
I'm
be a
gonna get
little
autistic here.
it,
I will
for
get you your crawl ratio in a minute.
I don't care about the crawl ratio. Um, thinking from
Oh,
my
Lord.
Jeep, my the silver Jeep isn't going anywhere for a while. It needs some uh uh TLC, but it's gonna be what it is still. That thing is and has been like low crawl ratio or high crawl ratio, I guess, technically. Sort of crawler, bash it off rocks. I don't know if I want the blue one to do exactly the same thing. I had a ton of fun at this place up in New York that Josh, Greenleaf Motorsports, dragged me and Adam and a bunch of the guys from the shop up to. And I mean, I blew the shit out of my Jeep. It's still messed up and it was covered in dirt. And I've never destroyed it so much, but it was a ton of fun. But it's just not designed for that.
No,
Like,
it's
at
are
all.
you saying go fast stuff?
Not, I don't know. Like, I want it to be fun, like at an event like that one, right? My Jeep is at and slow and not. It doesn't handle. It can take no, it can't. It can't take repeated bumps. I would like something that I could bring, to for an example on like the East Coast and probably Windrock's probably the same sort of situation where you have some like if you're gonna drive it around, like you can kind of open it up a little bit, have a little bit of fun,
Yeah.
or what's just something like that. I think it'll still be primarily just a crawler. I'm not building it to any spec. I'm building what I want to build, not a race car. If I wanted to build a race car, I wouldn't start with a fucking Cherokee body, but just something that's different, right? Just not the same
Cookie cutter
exact cookie
XJ.
cutter Jeep. I want to build something that's a little different. It's not going to be like anything over the top, but in my mind, I'd like to do like a trailing arm four link in the rear. Do a lot of the things that my Jeep doesn't have that I would like to do, but are just not going to do on it because it works fine as it is. Do the full hydro, do a double triangulated four link in the front, and just just sort of refine what mine is and just do it a little differently. I would eventually love to cut the nose off of mine, retube it, and cut the belly out and all that stuff because that's that's that Jeep is in my mind still always going to be the crawler. I could never get rid of it. Like it's got too much sentimental value. So, and I've put it together so many times that to throw it away after, oh, I blew my bump stops out of it and I had to take the bumper off. Like I'm just going to get rid of it. Like that's not the mentality I have with that thing. but it's kind of too far gone in some ways for me to do anything about it right now. So I made the smart financial choice and just bought another one. We're just going to build 2. That makes sense.
Yeah,
It's such a cheap
smart.
hobby these days.
Oh yeah, really cheap.
What have you been up to, Logan?
Well, as always, we ended last year off with the conversation of, hey, let's not destroy our shit this coming season. Let's just let's get some seat time. And
I can't even
followed
be
that.
blamed for this one.
No, I followed that up the next weekend with kickflip in mind for the first time. And
Congratulations.
well, what started off as the day, I was like, this steering seems to get worse and worse the longer we go down these trails. And I was like, yeah, oh well, it's the end of the day. And they're like, hey, let's go do Trail 15, which is, it's one of the harder ones at Windrock. It's
just one
not.
of the
It's not.
common ones.
It's a fun one to play with. Well, I was going up the buggy side because there was a bunch of side by sides and all the 4-wheelers and crap in front of me going up the easy side. So I was like, I'll go up the buggy side. And first gear didn't work. Second gear didn't work. So I backed up and hit third. And when I hit third, a rock broke and sent me about, I don't know, 6 feet up in the air, upside down, which was real fun.
Your third gear gives you enough power to actually do stuff?
Surprisingly, it did until I got
Crazy.
home.
He slipped the fuck out of it, though. To be fair.
It was a second to third gear shift.
Okay.
I wasn't starting in third.
Yeah, that's why my third gear's all fucked up. That's slam shifting from second to third on a 45 or plus vertical wall doesn't end well for third gear synchros, as it turns out.
Yeah. I mean, you can go see the video. When the front tire hits, the rock breaks, so the back tire has literally nothing to climb on the passenger side.
Yeah.
So
I've seen the video, yeah.
It just goes straight up and I go over. Well, we flip it over and I get back to camp, and on the way down the mountain I was like, wow, this thing really doesn't steer. And so when we got down to camp and I looked, and of course broke the front of the unibody off again after the third time plating it. So
why don't you just cut it out and tube it at this point?
Well, when we came home, I just went ahead and did the full hydro, the cheap version. Well, not as cheap as Luke, but definitely the cheap version.
It works good though.
It works, and of course the day after I finish it and I'm test driving around the yard, I go down to the creek, and both kids are in the back seat and said, "Make mud." So I proceeded to hit it in third gear rev limiter, just trying to get out of the creek in 2-wheel drive, to be fair. And it slings a rod right out of the side of the fucking motor. And needless to say, this motor's like 3 years old, and it might have 20,000 miles on it, maybe. But yeah, it slung a rod right out of the side of it, which that was fun.
Low mileage 4.0s in 2026 they're not as desirable as I think people think they are.
Well, to be fair,
I've had better luck out of the clapped ones, to be honest.
Yeah, to be fair, this motor was the one that was turboed for a while too, and it's been smoking. I needed to do rings in it and stuff, anyways.
Gotcha.
But it just, after spending $2,000 doing the full hydro, just to immediately blow it up before we even leave the house again was real fun. And it actually, the 2 weeks before that, I had just sold my last spare motor. So I was like, awesome. Now I have to go find an overpriced motor to fix it. And so that was a fun, expensive trip. Let's see. After that, we went to Hawk Pride, which that was never been there. It's a fun park. I wouldn't say it's a hard park. If you want to see all the hard shit, you can look up like what the bouncers do. And I'm not even going to attempt to put tire on the stuff that the bouncers are racing on because I have no business of that. But first trail out, my dad went down with us, and we were alone because I was still waiting on everybody to show up. And I forgot what trail it was, but it was one of the harder ones there next to the camp. I was like, we'll just go do this real quick because somebody can come get me out because the high octane dude, he was there. There was a couple people around, and I mean, immediately I turned the left onto the trail and immediately flopped over on the side. I was like, well, shit. So we sat there for, I don't know, an hour waiting on trying to get it out. But the way it flopped, it was on an uphill embankment because the rock gave out and I fell in a hole. So we were inside. I couldn't get out of the Jeep either because it was on my door side. So we were stuck.
Crawl out the other way?
Well, my father was in there with me and he was above me and I was not about to pull him and let him fall on me to get out.
Yes, that's why you leave first and then pull his cord.
Well, yes, I also had a kid, and one of the kids was in the back with us. But
okay.
we ended up it was funny. We ended up just bouncing to get it toward the Jeep. Like every time we had moved, the Jeep would slide further down, closer to the bottom. So I was like, let's just start bouncing. So we were in there just rocking the Jeep back and forth till it finally slid down to where two of the tires would touch on the driver's side. Because I mean, all four wheels were up in the air.
Oh.
And I started it up, put it in reverse, and we actually got it out of there. And that was real fun. But yeah, I mean, a solid 30 minutes of in there rocking back and forth trying to get the Jeep to slide down a gravel hill. It was probably a sight to see, but I'm glad nobody's seen it.
I mean, you still get called a dumbass by me, so it's fine.
Well, apparently, I have made enough of a reputation of being an idiot to people up there that I have no idea. You know, I'm 4 hours from the house. They come up to me like, "Are you Logan?" I was like, "Yeah." They're like, "We've heard about you." I was like, "Is that a good thing or a bad thing?" And they're like, "We're not riding with you." I was like, "Oh, okay." I don't know what that
they
means.
didn't answer the question.
Okay.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Do you not want to ride with me because I'm cool, too cool for you, or do you not want to ride with me because I'm stupid? That would be my question in my head.
I'm going to lean more towards the stupid part because I was telling everybody, let's go be retarded, and I was like, hey, I just flopped this thing on the first 15 minutes over here. So of course nobody else wanted to ride with us.
Nobody wants to ruin their perfect Cherokee body panels.
No. I think the only panel left on mine now at this point is most of the roof. Everything else is completely crushed. Cut the fronts into half doors.
Your roof's fucked.
Okay, well then nothing's left. Because I cut the front doors into half doors. When I kick flipped it, all of the hood and front fenders and everything shoved over like 6 inches. So the Jeep's not even close to straight.
No, it doglegs so fucking bad going down the road.
I think that's more to do with the back being so shot. You know, my shackles are literally folded over on top of each other.
Yeah, I mean, that might have a little bit to do with it, but like, if you look at it nose on...
Have you not fixed those yet?
He fucked them up at Windrock.
And then I bent them back out. And then it did until we got to AOP for meet and beat. And then I don't even remember what trail it was. It was one of the days Luke was there. I landed smack on one. And I mean, the shackle is literally like 4 inches folded over on top of each other.
I'm telling you, the only shackles I found that held up were the crown shackles. They look the same as every other one, but they're made of like 3/8 plate, like bent into the shape of a shackle, and it's got like this one little thing that holds them together. And mine still haven't folded. They're still pretty straight.
Well,
they're like $100 or something, or they used to be. I don't know what they are now, but very good investment. Better than any stupid.
This thing had shackle relocation brackets in it from back before it was ton swapped, and I did the cheap ones. And so those have literally those ripped out to begin with.
Yeah. Oh, that happens.
And well, it was pushing up, and thankfully my cage in the back half is on top of it, so it didn't go through the floor. But I got that. I did order some Iron Man ones. He's got to make them, but they're like the boomerang tube style ones. So I mean, there's really nothing to bend other than my unibody.
Or the ears on the thing, you know.
Well, they're real short, so I don't know. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, maybe they'll be fine. I don't know. Yeah, I guess that's.
I
don't have any experience with them. I can't.
About.
I know what he's talking about. It's like a
I'll
tube.
I know.
I'll put a picture in general.
Shit, because of the 4-link.
Oh,
Here, I sent a picture in general of what they look like at this very moment.
I've seen this picture. I think I don't know if it was on your story or what, but yeah, that's they're bent.
Hey, they went all meet and beat just like that, just fine, and 2 other trips to Windrock just like that. So until it becomes a problem, it's not a problem.
Just keep the spare ones on you, and then when you just when one breaks, you can just go flex out on something, open it up, install it on the one side or on the shackle, and then just lower it down until someone can pop a leaf spring in there. Easy peasy.
I definitely, this has been the year of maintenance. 3 of the bolts for the U-bolt eliminators were broke. I broke those at Hawk Pride. My track bar or anti-rat bar fell off at Hawk Pride. That was real fun. Yeah, the year of just getting seat time and not beating this thing has gone real well so far.
Yeah.
That doesn't seat time and not beating something don't go well together. That's not.
I tell you what, putting the 5-speed in this thing has been the best and worst choice I've ever done for this Jeep. I love it, but God bless, I clutch kick the absolute shit out of this thing.
Yeah, that's the point.
Oh, it does wheelies. I tried. I neutral dropped the crap. I went through 3 autos neutral dropping them.
It doesn't have the same kick though.
It doesn't. And I love every video you see where I'm clutch kicking this thing. The front end picks up and does a wheelie up stuff. It's hilarious. I'm like, awesome. I kind of wish I did listen to Luke when I was setting up my link mounts, but oh well.
Every once in a while, I might get something almost correct. That last fucking Windrock trip, though, was just fucked.
Well,
excellent trip.
So the whole reason we started this year of Let's Be Easy is because my brother-in-law has a 3rd gen 4Runner that's locked front and rear. He's on 33s and he's getting into wheeling. And I was like, hey, if you actually want to do this, come ride with us. I was like, it's probably not going to be that great for you, but just come on, do it. And then I figure, he can hit some black trails. He's retarded, but I know the vehicle will get through there. I was like, I know the vehicle could get through there. Him, I don't know. Hell, we took him up George Winters, and he came to meet and beat, and we took him up. I think we did 41 with him, which 41 with him and you it went about the same. He did George Winters. He did, the little slab rock at the end. He's getting there. But this past trip we went 2 weeks ago, or whatever that was, to Windrock, he's not big into body damage, and he watched me fold my door in and proceeded to follow me, and I shattered both windows, I think, caved in the quarter panel and everything. And he gets home. It's not even his 4Runner, it's his father's. He gets home and proceeds to have to fix all of that. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're not riding with us no more.
Yeah, that one was brutal, though, because we did, what was it, 17 and 16?
It was literally just 16.
Okay,
2 and 16.
So 16's like a long fucking trail. It's
22.
Is it? I thought it was 17.
No, it's 20. It's 23 miles from start to finish, if you do the waterfall like we did.
Okay, so we went. So we left in the morning, and that was going. I'm gonna say fairly well because it was what, me, you, and him,
Yeah,
and that was
and Jack.
and Jack. Forgot about Jack. Jack was the fucking MVP until he wasn't. Which so we go down to the waterfall section, which is just like kind of this cool, like you go, you look at it, it's pretty. It's one of those Windrock like nature, experiences.
Hold on. So this trail, it's an all-day trail when you do them, and it's supposed to be one of the hard areas. It's considered a red trail, but the red section of it is literally the last. I don't know. What do you think? 200 yards, maybe. The rest of it is like just like you're going down a green gravel road. It just takes forever because you're winding through all the woods and everything to get to it.
Yeah, and you'll get like a 2-foot ledge here, you'll get a foot ledge there, you'll have a fucking drop off into like a water pool where, it's like a 5-foot or a 6-foot drop, but you just kind of clutch kick it and let the Jeep settle itself and it goes right on down into it. So it's not like a bad trail at all. The last section though, get fucked.
And see, I've never done it, and that's what I want. Now that I know that the rest of the trail's, boring, we could literally just go to the top, back down it, and do the ledges that you did. Seeing how I still didn't get to do the ledges.
That beatdown was fucking insane, though.
Did you post a video of that yet? People need to see it.
I have to go bother fucking Anna to actually get the fucking video, cause yeah, she's got it. I don't have it. She showed it to me while we were there before the Forerunner exploded. Or was that after? That was after the Forerunner exploded. So
it was after and during.
Yes. So the Forerunner threw the rear drive shaft, and that takes a Toyota specialty joint, I think, or some weird shit like that. It just uses internal C-clips. I don't know if the dimensions are different than a 1310. I don't care. I've never owned a Toyota before. I'm probably going to soon, but, that's not going to be a fucking wheeler. So that was like, all right, whatever. We got him moving, and he had 2-wheel drive, and we're like, we can just kind of tow him out of this. This hasn't been that bad yet. Yeah, it got that bad real fucking quick.
I wholeheartedly believe we could have got him through if he had all 4 wheels. And I think the only reason through the rear drive shaft is because the weekend before he was over here and he just put that U-joint in. So I'm assuming he didn't get a clip or something in all the way, and it just flung a cap, and then the rest, it just yeets the rest of it.
He also put a Moog in, and I've had bad luck with Moog joints. I shattered 2 of them this year. The 1350s and that rear drive shaft. I now have 2 spare 1350s. One of them.
Oh, this has been the year of rear drive shafts.
Yeah.
I broke my U-joint. You broke yours doing the same thing. Nick broke his not too long ago.
Don't forget the blown out one at Harlan too. At the
that one, yeah,
last year.
Yeah.
But the Toyota was like kind of so I kind of just like went around and went up the sideline to the main line on 16, and I
proceeded to monsoon.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there like trying to, figure out what we're doing, and we're figuring out what we're doing with the Toyota, and I'm like, maybe we can get up that. Whatever, I'm here. Hey, Logan, you care if I just go play through? So I backed down the trail, backed up this fucking ledge to get onto the next step up on
you
the
went
trail.
up the bypass and then back down to the ledge.
And I got into that ledge, and I think you were looking at the Toyota or were doing something with that, so you ended up having your Jeep there. So I took the middle line, not the bypass, but the like right line there. That was the most aggressive fucking beatdown I have put on that Jeep in fucking years. Just a solid 2 minutes of straight on the fucking limiter, backing up, clutch kicking it, and like I broke the top of the rock off with the rear diff, which is what let the rear tire touch the ground to finally propel it up. And it was second gear, just all four were smoking in a monsoon level of beatdown, which was quite a good time.
It was definitely type 2 fun.
Yes.
He was turtled. It was a rock. It was hilarious because first gear, the driver's side tire would be on the rock trying to pull, and he'd hit second gear, and then it'd fling it over so the passenger side tire was trying to climb, and it just kept rocking back and forth. And I was like, yeah, he's gonna have to really be mean to that thing to get it to go, and he did. It was a proud dad moment.
It was. There was one point where I looked at it and I'm like looking at the tack, and the tack's sitting at like 4,800 RPMs, and I'm looking at the transmission in third gear, and I'm like, this is not the time. Moved it down to second and then just fucking popped the clutch. And yeah, so that was fun. I got up to the top there and I came back down, and then we proceeded to grenade the second or one of the front axle shafts on the Toyota, and that just started off a all-you-can-suck winch fest.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was his fault. We hooked him up to Jack, and Jack was on a mission to get out of there, and he just rammed him right into. I mean, it was swallowing a set of 43 swampers, and then trying to get a 33 through there.
Jack also is driving like he's in a fucking Cherokee on 43 stickies. So
what's he driving?
That Cherokee on 43 stick. It's the red one Brandon Carroll built.
Oh, yeah.
He's right down the road.
He's become a new friend for us, and he's rode with me several times now.
I've seen him recently in a bunch of your guys' pictures, so I kind of figured.
Yeah, he's a cool dude.
He's pretty. It stands out because of that front dove nose thing it's got going on. It was well done.
And he's real cool to ride with because he's down for whatever. He's like, hey, is the Toyota going with us? I was like, yeah. He's like, awesome. And he real helpful. I was like, yeah, I'm probably doing him a dishonest service, making him ride with tons and 40s being the smallest tire, and he's on 33s with CV axles up front. Probably not helping him out much. But
you're ruining him. That's what you're doing.
Well, I have a set of tons. We have everything to ton swap this 4Runner. But I told him, I said, you're not ton swapping it until you have at least a year, 2 years of just wheeling time to learn how to wheel. Yep. And then we'll go down that path. I said, you got to learn how to drive it first.
Yep.
And like that, I've not let him even ride in mine. I said, the moment you ride in one, it's going to ruin you. And then you're really going to want to do it. I was like, you need to get some seat time, because meet and beat was his third trip out wheeling at all.
Yeah. No, you can't just jump. I mean, you can, but everybody knows it when you do that. Like it does help to have some seat time in something that's not.
And don't get me wrong. Capable. I mean, it is a 4Runner, but it's got lockers in front and rear. Like I know he can do most black trails at Windrock, because a black trail's like a blue trail at AOP. Mm-hmm. The 4Runner itself will be able to get through there. If anything, we'll have to tug him a little, but I know it could get through it. Yeah, well, he's got sliders and a front bumper in the mail waiting to get it put on.
Okay, good. Because, that was the biggest fuck up. Although I will say Jack is funny, because Jack, I was riding with him when we were coming back, and he's like, you're just mean to that thing. And I'm like, yep.
Okay, so here's the problem. He stopped me the other day, and because he lives right down the road, so he was talking to me, and he goes, I have never neutral dropped mine. It's never been on rev limiter until I started hanging out with y'all. And I was like, is that a good thing or a bad thing? Because I met him, actually met him at Hawk Pride and rode with him at Hawk Pride. Like, he was at Harlem with us last year, but he was riding with the other people, not with us. And he's like, "Yeah, I've never been this mean to this thing until I started riding with y'all." I was like, "Well, I'm sorry."
My instant approach at this point in time is to be mean to it first, and then if it doesn't want to go being mean to it, then I will be nice to it.
Yeah. And that's why mine's in the shape it is now.
Banana.
I can't say much either here, boss. I don't know if you're aware, but my roof now rains through the fucking B-pillar directly on me.
Oh. All right, we
Because
have to talk about meet and beat. We can't just gloss over how meet and beat went,
fair enough.
because you're talking about Windrock, which was 2 weeks ago. You got to start with some meet and beat.
Oh, fuck, what even? Let's see. Bronco-ish, that was fun. Y'all told me I wasn't allowed to say we're going to have a nice, quiet, easy ride, so I didn't. And then y'all decided that I was going to lead, which ended up being a terrible call.
Normally.
So we did 41, and that went about as well as you expect wet AOP in 41 to go.
Oh, you cannot gloss. No. You cannot gloss over 41 and how awful of a driving you were doing.
Well, that's just to be expected.
All right,
So,
Graham. You know, on 41, the
Mhm.
the lower half section, how there's always been like a big tree on the lower half of 41, just in the middle.
Yeah.
It's been there for years now. Yeah, he could not get over it, and I think we winched, I don't know, 15, 20 minutes. He beat on it for about 30, just stuck on that stupid tree in the center.
so what happened was the tree went under the driver's side axle tube and picked up the passenger side just due to like the angle and how it hung on the diff because it got under the snout of the diff. So the passenger side tire's just hanging out there in the fucking air. And I'm trying to winch it, and the winch doesn't have enough to like pop this pig over. And I'm like, all right, cool. In the end, we ended up just fucking winching out, and I backed all the way fucking back down off of that son of a bitch after about 30 minutes of cussing and rev limiter to just casually walk up 65 like it was no big fucking deal whatsoever on the most fucked up possible line.
Tells it how it be. Sometimes
Yeah,
you
then
just
Bronco, and then me and Bronco, it's just popped right up over. I had to hit it a couple times, but
Uh,
because he had moved the tree further down, but it was just, we were there for a solid 45 minutes watching him just.
65, we were in for quite a hot minute waiting on you. So I'm not fucking listening to you fucking shit talking me about the
Oh,
tree incident.
I'm going to, because I had to go after 2 sets of muddy ass stickies.
Not my fucking problem.
Well, it's about to not be mine too, hopefully.
Hell yeah. 65 is good. It's gotten rutted out. So like with my Jeep, you have to be on it, and that one's like flat rock, you kind of have to fucking just hard drop it off of the passenger side to the driver's side and drive the front tire right up that rock in one continuous motion to get up it. And if you get that shot right, it just slingshots right on up it, and then the rest of the trail's a cakewalk. Everything else in there is just otherwise, it's fucking hell. Bronco-ish had to work on it quite a bit to get himself in there and get up it, but then you had to come up on DOTs and we're not having fun.
Well, my problem was I was trying to do the V, ride the V like you're always supposed to. Well, that just wasn't happening. And then once I realized, oh, you got to be just fully passenger and then hope you land in the V. And then it finally went up.
Yeah,
But
that
every other
was the
time you
entire.
ride the V and you're fine.
Well, it was fucking wet. Um, That night ride was nice. The Waffle House was really good. Hi, can I please have I forgot. Hash browns. Because we'd
Richie,
gone
we
back.
missed you this meet and beat.
We did.
I was a little sad I didn't go this year.
Well, just so you know, the emo waitress at Waffle House was not there this year.
No.
I think the Waffle House waitress shelf life is about 8 months.
It was really hard to convince the waiter that Bronco-ish and Luke were husband and husband this year. But last year, when it was you and Luke, it was real easy to convince y'all were husbands.
Interesting.
That sounds about right.
Bags. Oh shit, I have to go clip that now, don't I?
Oh no.
It's the
not
Jews'
clipping.
fault.
Oh, good lord. I'm not clipping that either.
What do we
In
do the
case-
next day? I don't know.
The next day we kind of bebopped around. That was the day that we did the midsection of 50. We did the slab rock on 2. We did George Winters. We did JW4. And then we ended up going back to the parking lot because it was like 1:45 at that point, and everyone wanted lunch. And then I left at 3.
Oh,
I had
yeah,
work.
you did leave. You weren't there for my debacle. I forgot about that.
No, I had work to go and do, boss. Get laid off on fucking Saturday evening, so that's gonna be cool.
This Saturday?
Yep.
Oh shit.
7:30 is my last shift. I'm off for a week, and then I go into global engineering instead of the production floor. Woohoo! So that's cool.
Sounds better than a production floor.
It is,
It's got a
and
better. It's got a nice ring to it.
it does have a nice ring to it, but it's like, oh,
More-
joy.
More importantly than does it have a nice ring to it, does it have air conditioning?
I'm getting sent to the injection molding side to help with that in the Tennessee
sorry.
summer.
I'm sorry.
Your boy is going to be buying some new fucking underwear to help deal with the sweat constraints.
Yeah.
You just go in a
Womp
Speedo.
womp.
But I will say it's kind of cool because I'm not going to be getting dirty. I'm not used to that. I'm sure I'll get dirty, but it's not going to be the way that it was working on, deep draw stamping presses.
It seems like it's going to be better all around for you.
Yep. I'm excited for it. So what was your debacle? Because I missed that because I had to leave.
So, again, Bryce had showed up. He brought friends with him. I still had the Forerunner with me. So I was like, hey, we're going to go do some blue trails and just go see the park. We don't ever go and just do the right side of, the main entrance, not the buggy stuff, but just like we don't ever do that. We always go to George Winter's side. So we did all that, did a bunch of trails over there. And then I was like, hey, let's go to George Winter's. Let's go do that. And then we'll go eat lunch. Well, on the way there, my radio, which is just a cigarette lighter speaker, kept turning on and off. And I was like, what the hell? I need my tunes if I'm going to be stupid. And I had no radio. Well, then we pull up on George Winters. I get all the way to the very first little obstacle on George Winters, and it just shuts off. So I have a line of like 15 people behind me. And I was like, oh, awesome. Turned out my alternator decided to shit a brick right there. Thankfully, one of our friends had one of them Temu jump packs. So I was like, hey, it's very inconvenient where this is, but I need to put that on the battery, at least so I can get off the trail. And then I'll go to this town and go get an alternator. Because once before we even jumped it off, I had called in O'Reilly's and they had one on the shelf. I was like, cool, we'll just go grab it. Well, we get me out of the way. I get to the bottom of the actual part on George Winters, but off to the side so everybody can go around. And we proceed to get everybody up. And I was like, all right, well, I'm last. Here, I'm going to go ahead and do it. Instead of doing the bypass, we're here. I'll just do the trail. So he's hopped in the back of me because my battery is behind the rear seat in front of the cage. So you have to crawl over the back seat to hook the jump box up to it. Well, I didn't realize at the time when he was doing it, it's one of them ones that count down. So you have like 45 seconds once you hit the button before it shuts off. So I was like, all right, cool. Hit the button and hop out and shut the door and let me clutch kick this thing up George Winters, and then we'll deal with it from there. Someone can pull me down the parking lot. It's downhill. Well, I get on George Winters and it finally stalls. So he has to crawl back in there. And I mean, I'm on the ledge, like, don't roll back or you're going to fall off the ledge. He gets in there. We get it jumped again, get it running, and I come out the top. Well, me being the smart person, I was like, it's running enough, but you can tell it's about to shut off because the injectors are starting to die. So I was like, there's a tree right here. Let me just park it with the tire on the tree so I ain't got to worry about it. We'll just run in the parking lot and I'll change the alternator right here. Well, I guess I hit the tree on my tire, which bounced it around behind my front bumper. So it folded my header panel inward. I put it in reverse. Yeah, it's running at this point still. So I put it in reverse. I was like, shit, I'll back over because the tree's not that big. It's probably 2 fists around. I was like, I'll just back out. Well, when I backed out, instead of it, coming out from around the tire, it proceeds to go further behind my bumper and folds it the opposite direction to the point where I'm hearing the fan hitting the radiator. I was like, fuck. I put it in first, and as I'm trying to nose forward, it finally shuts off. So it lunged forward and shoved the tree backwards again and bent my header panel even more further back into the hood. So I was just stuck there. I was like, fuck. And everybody, of course, again, I missed the race again this year because it's that time where everybody's down there racing. So I was like, we'll just deal with this later. I rode down. Thankfully, the 4Runner was behind me. So we took that thing down to the parking lot, took the truck, got the alternator. And when we get back, everybody's still at the race. I was like, well, shit, I'm going to go up there and I'll at least get the alternator put on and then we can winch me. And Bronco-ish was like, hey, dude, call me when you get back. I have a battery-powered Sawzall. We can cut the tree down. I was like, awesome. Well, he was watching the race, so I didn't want to bother him. And I just happened to have a little Ozark hatchet. And there's a video that's now got like 1 million views for some reason of where I'm having to hatchet this little fucking tree down to get the damn Jeep out of the way so I could even change the alternator. And the hatchet was dull. My shoulder still hurts from it. Took a solid hour of hacking at that tree to get it done. And as I finally get it cut down enough to where we can push it over, here comes Bronco-ish with the Sawzall. He's like, hey man, do you need this? I was like, not anymore.
Jesus.
That's fucking funny.
The best part about it is, I guess, while we were in the debacle of all this on the way back down, I forgot to do my kill switch, which I just have it on there and it kills everything. That way it's just whatever. Well, I forgot to hit it, so all the power and everything was left on, so the battery was like extra dead when we finally got back up there. So it took another 45 minutes of fucking around with it to get it to actually run. It started and then immediately shut off. And I was like, awesome. I think I killed the crank sensor on this thing because it was acting like a crank sensor. So I'm now proceeding to change the freaking crank sensor. And then that took 10, 15 minutes. I get it in, go to start it again. Doesn't start. I was like, I'm an idiot. I should probably look. And when I did the alternator, the coil had come unplugged. So we were fighting it for, I don't know, an hour and a half trying to figure out why the thing wouldn't run. And it turned out I had just was stupid and unplugged the coil. So we got that put back together.
Mine
That's
does
good.
that too. I have a zip tie holding the fucking coil wire on at this point, just as a result of that. And then I have another zip tie holding the fucking plug in the coil pack because the plug from the harness is broken. So the clip doesn't engage anymore. But it's fine. It works.
Yeah, that's what mine is. And that's why I was like, I don't know why. I'm stupid, and I don't know why I didn't think to look. I was literally just by there with the alternator because I did the alternator from underneath of it. I was like, I should have just went straight and looked at that. But of course, it wasn't all the way unplugged. It was enough to where it still looked like it was clipped on, but it wasn't. So yeah, that was about a 4-hour debacle, and that was my meet and beat. Because
And then your bolt came loose too for the fucking engine.
Oh yeah. So for this whole year, I've been having the worst grinding sound randomly. It mostly happened when I pushed the clutch in. So I was like, okay, motor mounts are shot. I had just put this motor in, but I put some cheap AutoZone motor mounts in it when I did the motor. So I was like, it's just probably the mounts, letting the fan hit the radiator. Do all this. And while I'm at Hawk Pride, it gets to the point where I can't even drive the thing without it sounding like the fan is going through the whole front bumper. And I was like, I couldn't figure it out. Ended up doing 9 or 10 ratchet straps holding the motor down in place, and it quit doing it. So I was like, oh, motor mounts. Well, we get to meet and beat after I put another set of motor mounts in it. And it started doing the same thing. And I just so happened to crawl under there while doing the alternator. I noticed I have no bell housing bolts. There was one of the top ones was in it, but I mean, it was 2 turns from literally falling out. I was like, hey, maybe this whole time, it wasn't the fan hitting. It was the starter hitting the flywheel as the engine flexes away from it.
Yeah, that'd do it. I was waiting for that. I was waiting for that. The J20 bell housing bolts separated from the body, and I was like, "Damn, my clutch is getting kind of like it's not. It feels like the clutch slave is losing pressure. Or, something between the master and slave is losing pressure because the pedal doesn't feel just wasn't doing very much." Right, so I looked around, looked under it, didn't say anything. It all looks fine. I was like, I don't know, weird. I moved it. I finally prepped it for this spring and summer, and I was like, I forget why. I just happened to look at the bell housing connection to the body, and I was like, oh, that's like half an inch not connected. That would be why. That would be why I can't actuate my clutch very well.
Well, that's how I actually noticed it, is because after we got it started and on the way down to camp, I was like, I have no clutch pedal.
Yeah.
What the hell is going on? And so I pull over, and that's when I was like, oh, that's when I found the coil was unplugged, or coming unplugged and connecting itself back. And then I was like, wait, there's no bolts above the starter. There should be at least 4 bolts. And I looked and reached up and I pulled the very last one out. It was like 3 turns and the thing fell out of there. I was like, huh, maybe that's my problem. So yeah, it's been a year of maintenance because I've neglected it for so long. Even though it's only, this is like the 4th year it's been put together. I guess needs to be like a every trip check kind of thing.
Yeah, bolt checks are good. Bolt checks are good if they're.
Well, you don't need to check them if there's no bolts to check.
That's true. That should be a red flag, though.
Well, I am not the smartest, Graham.
The Jeep is also red. Maybe you need like a blue flag or something.
Yeah. I'm thinking. So far this year, we've rode more than we have in the past 2 years. So I'm thinking, we've not rode that much. they don't need that much maintenance. And here I am. Oh, I've literally had to redo everything from lack of doing anything. Like I just finished putting a new tire on because while at Windrock last 2 weeks ago, I freaking popped a damn tire. That was real fun.
Mm.
These Coopers, I'm starting to not like them. 2 in 2 years.
Yeah, that's worse than me. And
Granted,
I'm stupid.
well, the first one was at AOP on Granny Templeton or one of those. And I definitely had them air down way too much, and it just folded, and the actual beadlock ring cut it.
Yeah.
And then this one, it was like 12 or 1 in the morning or something. It was late, and I was like, I'm ready to get back to camp. So I just, fourth gear low, just cruising, and we hit a rock, and it pretty much brought us to a stop. And so I start going again, and every time you rotate it, you hear. I was like, well, we're at the top of the mountain. My spare is at the trailer at camp. I'm just going to drive this stupid thing to. Yeah, we're not doing this tonight. We'll deal with this tomorrow. This is a tomorrow me problem.
Which also reminds me, I have to give you back a pair of pants and an adjustable wrench.
Well, good. You can come get your spare when we do that.
Perfect. Because that weekend fucking sucked for being wet.
Yeah, it was Memorial Weekend, so her brother wanted to go wheel real bad because he bought his year pass. And I was like, look, man, if it's going to rain even half of what they say it's going to rain, this is not going to be fun. Because they were calling for more rain than 2 year ago meet and beat. Like it was going to be that level shitty. And he insisted on us going. And I was like, look, man, this is not going to be fun. And sure enough, it was not that fun.
No, I do like that little campground, though. The part that got me, though, was just sitting there on my side, looking up at the sky as the rain's just coming down and splattering onto my goggles. And, like, I felt the seat just starting to fill with water. And I'm like, this is fucking gross.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been fun even if I had doors and windows and all that. It still wouldn't have been fun. And, here we are. I got the wife, the kid, and the dog in the back seat. We're all just getting freaking peppered. It's that type of rain where you can't see like 3 feet in front of you.
Yeah, that's a good description for it. And it was fucking cold. I thought I was going there for a day, but getting the 4Runner off the mountain took until what? We got back at fucking 9:45.
Well, that was mostly my fault, but yeah.
Yeah, so we get back at like 9:45, and I'm like, all right, fuck it. I am not driving the hour and a half back to fucking where I live. Well, I guess it's actually, from where I'm at, it's closer to 2 hours. I'm not driving 2 hours home, because that's going to put me home at fucking midnight. I'm cold, wet, and tired. Found a shirt. Found a dry pair of boxers in the truck, and then borrowed a pair of fucking basketball shorts just so I wasn't soaking fucking wet.
Yeah, I offered. My new setup. I put a pop up on the front of my trailer, so I offered him. I was like, "Hey, man, if you want to stay, I got an extra bed in here with AC and TV." And Jack's nice and fancy. He's got one of them nice big old motor homes. And Luke decided to stay with him, which I was kind of jealous.
I mean,
second time meeting him, he's already sleeping with a man in his camper. I was quite jealous.
Hey, in my defense here, he offered. There was a direct line from the shower to the camper door, and he had the heat actually up, which when you've been cold and wet all day because you're in a Cherokee that has not even the pretension of creature comforts at this point, a little bit of warmth goes a long way.
I was going to warm you up, but no thanks.
I was just going to say, you could have snuggled.
I could have snuggled, but he turned the fucking AC down. Jack's camper was a nice solid 72 degrees. I picked 72 degrees instead of the Arctic blast.
Well, I have to keep it cold so you wouldn't have got poked in the back in the morning.
I'm fine with getting poked in the back in the morning.
Well,
Next time.
so Richie or Graham, next time y'all come down for wheeling, the other bed is offered to you. Luke's going to go sleep with Jack again.
All right. That'd be great to not have to sleep in the back of a car again.
Yeah, well, I mean, that'd probably be more comfortable, but
I don't know. I don't mind it when something pokes me, so, you know, it is what it is.
So, Richie, what did you end up doing to the old fucking man?
I'm sorry, what was that, Luke?
I was trying to make a slightly gay innuendo about you poking something in the back on the Comanche.
Oh, so I turtled myself on a down tree at my own house.
is that what you
I
sent me the other day? Like 2 days ago?
No, that was something different.
Oh, I see. So you're still retarded. Okay.
Yes, yeah. I for whatever reason I got a little sauced and decided it'd be a great idea to blast through the woods at like 9 o'clock at night. And I tried going over a tree, and yeah, I had to get a chainsaw out. And then the next day, I wanted to go back into the woods during the daylight, just to see how badly I tore shit up, because I was like third gear full throttle trying to get myself out. And I went through no issues. I'm just bebopping through in my Crocs, and the Jeep all of a sudden dies like 20 feet from exiting the woods. I'm like, what the fuck? I'll fucking deal with this tomorrow. So I left the Jeep in the woods overnight, and as it turns out, I flipped a log up into the undercarriage. It bounced around and ripped the wires for my fuel pump out.
Hell yeah.
So I had to, like, do a shitty job rewiring everything laying in a creek bed. So that was super fun, but a super easy fix. And then, what was it? Over the weekend, Richie wanted to go up some big rocks at the house. So I'm like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm like, well, I got rid of the tree that I got stuck on, so let's go up this trail that I haven't been able to go up in the last 2 years. And so we went up it, and on the way back down, I ended up diffing out on a rock. I couldn't go forward or go backward, so I'm like, well, I'm just going to be stupid and floor it. First, let me take the kid out of the Jeep, because this is stupid. So I turn the Jeep off, take Richie out, I hop back in the Jeep, and I started up, and it just sounded a little weird. I'm like, well, whatever. I go and start giving it throttle, and it sounds like I'm trying to send a rod to God. So I turn the Jeep right back off. I look underneath the bitch, and it is dumping oil out. So I end up walking up to the house. I grabbed my dad. We pulled the Jeep out with the tractor. And I ended up discovering that I blew a quarter-size hole in my timing cover.
That's impressive.
Yeah. So last night I went down to my cover it where I work on the Jeep. And I pulled the timing cover off. I drained the oil out of it. Well, I popped the drain plug off, and I got like maybe a few teaspoons of oil out of the oil pan.
You're fine.
Yeah.
They don't need oil.
So
It's optional.
I'm slapping a new cover on it and then just filling it back up.
Did you figure out what put the hole in there? Was the hole inwards or outwards?
So the hole was inwards.
Okay.
And I believe it is a combination of over revving the engine a little bit and the harmonic balancer getting a little wonky. Because
that
there
has
was
come off on you before.
It had the old one came off on me. But there was a few rotational marks right behind the pulley. So I'm thinking a combination of over revving the engine, it's spinning too fast, it wobbled a little bit, along with I also cracked the timing cover a year and a half ago when I tried using a pry bar to pop the harmonic balancer off.
Yeah.
So
Don't do that.
yeah, I figured that out. But I think it's a combination of those two factors that caused it, and I'm hoping that, I don't have to swap the motor.
I'm hoping that you don't have to swap a motor, but I also hope that you're faster at it than I am.
I won't be. I straight up don't have the time to dedicate to swapping a motor to do it all in one quick shot.
You can do it in 4 hours, bud. I did it in 4 hours, and that was having to cut out the crossbar and weld it back in. You got this.
No, I don't.
Well, just bring it over and we'll do it real quick.
Oh, yeah, I'll totally tow the Jeep for 24 hours to do a 4-hour job.
Hey, that's 28 hours, so...
No, I'd spend longer doing it just because I would take the opportunity of pulling everything out of the engine bay to go through and clean up a lot of the shit in the engine bay. I have fucking... The previous owner, such an asshole, he pulled all of the wiring out of the loom. So I have fucking random strands of wire fucking all over the fucking place.
I would say it's most likely the old owner, but that thing did sit in my backyard with the hood open when I had toddlers playing.
No,
so
it was
could
the
have been
old owner.
Okay, because my children definitely played in that thing while it was sitting in my yard.
I doubt your kids went through and stripped out every inch of wire loom.
Oh, I don't know. My kids are pretty creative. Luke has found that out.
If your kids do something like that, I would fucking give them an award, because it's kind of impressive how little fucking wire loom there is.
Speaking of wire loom, I highly suggest an air filter. Because back at Meet and Beat, when we were first night on 41, when it was my turn to get up 41, my Jeep, for some reason, just started, just on rev limiter, and it wasn't from me. It was not off of rev limiter. So I shut it down, and turned out that my air filter had fallen off on the interstate somewhere, and where the pipe was, it sucked up some of the wiring loom, and it had jammed the throttle body blade open. So the thing was just sitting on rev limiter. And they're like, yeah, get it. Broncoish and Sam was like, get it. I was like, it's not me, but okay.
Well, so joke's on you. Previous owner fucking installed this gay ass cold air intake, and the fucking tube won't stay attached to the fucking filter. I'm about to put a self tapper through the thing to keep it together.
Well, that's why mine fell off and it's on the interstate somewhere, because mine does the same thing.
Well, the filter is physically attached to the engine bay. It just won't stay attached to the fucking tube.
Mm.
And it's funny because I can hear the moment it fucking detaches. I'm also definitely gonna have to do the 1 tons this winter. The whole front axle, the whole front axle is about to fall out.
I need you to do it, and then everybody listening, go give David shit for not doing his, because he has 90% of the stuff to 1 ton swap his. He's just too big of a bitch to come over and do it.
Why does he want to do it?
Apparently money is more important to him. But like, he has Bronco-ish his old axles. He literally has to buy coilovers and Heim joints, and just the little odds and ends, but everything else is there. I have a Ram for him because he's going straight full hydro. Like, we have everything, most of everything to get him done. And the last time he wheeled was before you and Colin came down for meet and beat 2 years ago.
He hasn't wheeled since?
Well, he brought it to meet and beat, but it was raining so bad we all left, and he hasn't wheeled since.
Dang.
Now he's gone with us. He's been a passenger princess, but he has not taken his own junk out yet.
Oh, that's fucking gay.
I was like, dude, you got everything to ton swap it. He's like, yeah, but I don't want it to be down. I was like, what does it matter if you're not gone in 2 years? What's it matter if it's down for another 6 months? He's got a cage already. He's got the same cage I got, so it just has to get welded in. I'm like, dude, you just come on. But he's been traveling all over the place for his job.
He's been making money.
Speaking of cage, Graham, what are you doing after Glass Mountain?
I don't know.
Do you by chance got a little bit of an opening?
I should. The YJ is. I would love to have it out end of this week. We're gonna see. It's pretty close. I gotta just button up a couple more things. Then RJ wants me to help him with some sliders on his WJ. That should be quick though. And then I don't know what. Oh, Dan wants me to help him with his floor pans in his Cherokee. And I know you want a cage on, or some semblance of tube on the Comanche.
Yeah.
I haven't forgotten about that. If that's what you're referencing right there.
Yes, it is.
Yeah,
I needed a new truck, so I didn't hit you up when I said I was going to.
What happened to the old 3rd gen?
So I installed the gooseneck hitch. I was telling you about installing the gooseneck hitch at the club meeting. The next day after the club meeting, I went to finish up the hitch by tightening everything, and the U-bolt on the driver's side wouldn't tighten. I looked, and it had gone through the frame.
Oh boy.
So before I went through the process of pulling the flatbed off to swap out that section of frame rail, I decided to hammer test the whole frame. And chassis swap the truck or get a new truck.
Damn.
Mega cab down.
Oh yeah, Mega Cab is down.
What'd you do with it? Sell it?
Oh, it's still sitting in my yard. To be perfectly honest, I've been so fucking busy.
Yeah.
Let me get that motor.
It's yours if you come up here and grab it.
In the Honda?
Oh, son, let me tell you about this Honda.
It'd be more reliable.
So far, we're on week 2 of daily driving it. It only
Oh,
took 2
okay.
years and 8 motors, but it is the second week of daily driving it.
Is it gonna hold together? How's it doing? You can usually tell these things.
So my whole problem with this thing is, I got the car for free, and it turned into, well, if I'm already here, I might as well do this, and then that escalated really quickly, and I kept buying cheap junk motors because I refuse. Because years ago, when I was into these things, you could get a motor for a couple $100. You just throw it away if it had any issue. Well, now I guess from all of us doing that, now everybody wants a minimum $2,000 for a motor.
Jesus.
So I've been refusing to pay that. So I buy the $300-400 motors, and I'm shocked when they don't last. But I got one. I got it out of a running and driving car. I watched it run and drive. He needed the transmission. The car was rusty. I was like, cool. I gave him $400 for it. I put it in the car. All was good. I drive it around for a while. It's great. And so I'm like, okay, it's time to go get the thing tuned. I go get it tuned. Perfect. It took 20 minutes of tuning. Everything's good to go. I was like, wow, this was shockingly easy. So I get home, and of course, the first thing I do when I get home is, this thing made some good power. I'm going to go rip it down the street real quick. And when I do that, I come home, and as I'm pulling into the garage, I hear this squeak noise. And I'm like, this thing has no more boost. And turns out the turbo seized up. I was like, well, it was like $112 turbo off Amazon.
Whistle.
Yeah, like no name Amazon. It was $112, and it's been on 6 motors that have all blown up. So I'm not surprised. So I was like, whatever. So I bought a good turbo, and it showed up. I slapped that turbo on, and I go down the road. All's good. I come home. Old lady shows up. She goes, I want to go for a ride. I said, okay. I make it to the end of my driveway, and the oil light comes on. I was like, that's funny. Maybe the wiring came off. Because that's the logical thing, is because it's a dummy light. And I figured, the plug came out. And it proceeds to lock up about 15 feet further. It decides to lock all the way up. But
oh boy,
yeah,
it never ends.
But and I did a side job where it was a motor and trans in a family friend car. They just needed a motor swapped, so I have a transmission. Well, I put that transmission in the barn, and the Civic went in the barn, and I forgot about it for, I don't know, 6 months or whatever. And I so happened to get a message saying, hey, I have a built motor, bottom end, and I need a transmission. If you happen to have one, I'll trade you. So I was like, awesome. So I took it, got it, and now it's been running. It's been 2 weeks of really hard abuse, because if it's going to break it, I'm going to make it break soon, and it's not broke. So I think it's good to go.
Yeah,
so the logical thing is, it's about 400 horsepower now. It's just under. So my logical thinking is, hey, it's got a built motor. It's lasted 2 to 3 weeks. Maybe in a month or two, we'll go turn it up and see if it'll make 700. Because that's the logical thing to do. Everything is there for it to make 700. Now, whether it'll stay together to make 700, that's up in the air.
Yeah.
But since I didn't put the motor together, it might have some good luck and actually stay together. But with diesel being, $6 a gallon right now, it's been I've turned it into a daily driver, which is pretty damn miserable, because it's got a twin disc clutch in it. So it feels like I'm pushing a brick wall. There's no power steering, no AC. And it's hood exit. So it's louder than shit.
What is the fuel mileage?
It's the worst vehicle I have on fuel mileage, because it's on E85. So it literally gets like 4 miles a gallon, but it costs $15 to fill it up versus my truck's like $160 to fill up. So It only gets 100 miles to the tank, but it's still $15 to fill the tank up. So I'm telling myself this is a better daily driver at the moment.
I mean, it is, and it's funnier. It shoots fireballs.
Oh God, I'm waiting for the police to show up because it's got rolling anti-lag on it. So it literally shoots like 4-foot flames from the top and bottom of it. And it sounds and feels like gunshots. Like you feel it in your chest. And I use it at every inconvenient time. Oh, you're looking at me at the red light? Listen to this. So I know I'm going to get pulled over and, at gunpoint, I'm going to get pulled out of the car or something. Because it's hilarious. Like yesterday on the way home, there was a kid it had a paper tag on it. I don't even know. It was like a Dodge Dart or something. It had a paper tag on it. And he was looking at me. I was about to turn into the road by the house. And he looked at me and said, "That thing's ugly." So I said, "What?" And he went to talk again. And then, I made it shoot fireballs and he about shit his pants. And I look over and there's a cop on the other side just staring at me like, "What are you doing?" Because I mean, it's literally a turbo and about, I don't know, half a foot of exhaust. And the wastegate, like the exhaust goes down under the car, so it just echoes. And the wastegate comes up through the hood. So I was like, that probably wasn't the smartest thing to do.
Hey, you could just tell him somebody told you your car was ugly, so you scared him.
Which, I mean, he's correct. I let a 4-year-old paint it, so he's not wrong. But I said, "What'd you say?" And as he was talking, I was like, "What?" Yeah, I make sure to use that anti-lag. I paid for it. I'm going to use every bit of it. So any convenient time, it's getting done, and it's pretty fast enough to like. You shouldn't do this down a back road, but I'm going to anyways. But
yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to save some money because it's a lot cheaper on fuel, so it'll make me save money, which means we can go on more trips because I put money aside for this year and next year hey, there's no excuse. I have money. We can go wheeling. And then, of course, now it's $400 to fill the truck up to go anywhere, it seems like. So I was like, oh, awesome. We're still not going to go wheel this year.
Yeah, at this point, the only thing that's on my radar is Harlan, but that also has to directly do with me blowing the truck up, which, yeah. That one hurts a lot.
I think the big trip, unless for some reason diesel goes back down to $3 a gallon around here, I think Harlan and maybe another Hawk Pride trip, because those are less than 4 hours from the house. It's a tank to get there and back. So it's not the end of the world. Yeah, but I had full intentions of coming up north to wheel with you, Graham. But
oh, you ain't wheeling with me because my shit is parked.
Yeah, well, this was before you parked it. I don't know. It was a few months ago when we talked about it a few months ago.
Not only that, but Richie's here too.
Well, yes, it was kind of hey, I'm going to come up north whenever there's the next ride. Because I've been talking to Michelle and God, what's his name? I can't think now. But Stripper TJ and all them, they live up that way, and they go to Roush all the time. So I was gonna attempt to go join in on a Roush trip.
Roush is a good fucking time. It's worth going at least once. It's not the best park I've ever been to, but it is a good fucking park.
Well, I set money aside for it and quickly have decided that's going to wait till it's not $1 billion to go.
Yep.
So when are we going to see y'all back this direction?
Well,
when diesel's cheaper.
Yeah, diesel's gonna be cheaper. I gotta have my stuff put together. I gotta
So Thanksgiving ride again?
Oh, I don't know about that. We'll see. We'll see.
That was a good time.
I would love to do a Thanksgiving ride. The last one we did was a ton of fun, even though it was a miserable drive. What?
You mean when I blew up the ZJ in the parking lot? When I blew out the power steering box?
Yeah, that one.
I might
we
I
still
might
talk
drive
about that one.
I might drive down for meet and beat next year.
I was gonna say, meet was like 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Well, that's kind of
Yeah,
what I figured. You'd fly down.
Nah,
I don't
fuck
know if I would.
flying. I'll drive.
Did I tell you guys about how I like seized my rear diff?
No.
In the
Talk
truck?
about this story? No. Oh, well, it's on its way, but no, the Jeep.
Good Lord.
Yeah. Well, it's always had that stupid vent tube hanging out of the diff cover, right? And it just always goes up to the. It's always gone up just into the rear of the body. Um, and I hit it on a rock sometime at Roush or something, and it knocked the hose clamp off, and it was stuck on there. Like the only reason I hadn't changed it or moved it was because it just wouldn't come off, and I was just like, well, it's a vent tube and it hasn't come off, so we're just gonna leave it. And then I smashed the hose clamp off, and then the hose eventually fell off, and I just left it, and it was just kind of chilling there. Didn't really have a hose or anything. So as it turns out, it had drained all of its fluid. I don't know where. I don't know if it was at Roush because it did blow the rear drive shaft out of nowhere at Roush. Like it didn't make any sense. I snapped it in two on not 5. Must have been O Trail, I think. O Trail's the one that Curtis has gone up, right, Luke?
Yes.
And yeah, it's like that shitty one. You have to like get up onto the ledge. You go up the first ledge. You're on like a midpoint, like in this divot, and then you have to get up the second half of the ledge, and it's really sketchy. And that tree
Yeah,
like
you
grabs
kind of
you.
have to like
Yeah,
shoot
it was
over.
that obstacle. I was on like the second ledge, and I was hitting it, and I was like really really close to like having a chance at it. And then all of a sudden I was trying and like it just wasn't going the same. And then I don't know if it was uh um it wasn't Craig or it was a bunch of the oh man, what's his name? He's got the Forerunner, the tan Forerunner. Why can't Jake?
Jake? Yeah, Jake.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake Thompson. He he was like, "Oh, your rear drive shaft's broken." I was like, "What?" You didn't hear a bang or a pop or anything. It just was in two pieces.
Wow.
So I was like, "That's weird." Like, it didn't feel like it hit anything. So either way, like, drove out. I built a new drive shaft, kept going. It was like nothing seemed wrong the next day, but then we went to um the Go Fast shit in New York, and I would like go into it had a bunch of spots where you'd like drop in to something. There was like a bunch of shit and mud at the bottom, and then you'd like shoot out the top almost like a U, and the mud was only in like the lower section. And I'd go into the lower sections and I'd pop out, my transfer cases would pop out of gear, and I was like, that's weird. It's never done, it rarely does that. It used to do it a ton, like when I was like road driving it, but I've never done it off-roading in low gear. It's just never done that. So you know, I just held it in gear. I didn't care. Like as long as I held it in gear, it was holding it fine, no issues. Well, eventually I blew both my air bump pads. Well, one side the air bump pad actually like just deformed, so it was no longer holding bump where it was supposed to be. The other side did. The driver's side I hadn't reinforced like I had the passenger side, so it did what the passenger side did like 2 years ago. So that one kind of kicked out sideways. It fucked up the bump stop or air bump. And then the other one was just deformed. So between those two things, I sliced a hydro line, all this stuff. So I was like dead in the water. And then we patched a new line together just to get it out. And the rear end was like, it would do this thing where you'd be going, and then it would just go and like bind up and just do this crazy thing. And I thought it was the transfer case. Like it sounded like that gnarly and that close to me under the cab. And I was like, oh boy, something's wrong with the Eco Box or the 205. I'll rip those things apart. But it was covered in shit. It was kind of a gross day, so I didn't like look into it too much. I just put it back on the trailer, took it home. left it there for like a month, and then I finally brought it to go like to the car wash to wash some of the mud off. And I pulled it off, and it was still making the awful noises, which I expected. And then I pulled it off in a Big Y parking lot, and I drove it across the street to the car wash, because they didn't have enough space for the trailer like there, and I didn't really want to draw any more attention to the fact that I'm washing off something. It was just completely caked in mud. Public car washes tend to frown upon you just washing mud off your vehicle, so I was trying to like kind of be a little stealthy with it. Didn't work very well. But I washed it off.
Just go at 2 in the
whatever.
morning.
Yeah, do the thing. They have cameras and shit. I don't know. It is what it is. So I was just trying to be quick about it, like get a lot of the mud off and then be good. So I pull it in there, wash it down, get in it. Had washed the engine too much, so it almost didn't start, but it did start. And then I try to pull it out, and it just won't move. It's just the rear end is just not moving at all. So I'm like dragging it out, and this like couple's in their little some stupid little truck, and they're looking at me funny, and I was like, don't look at me, like I'm just driving here. This is normal. I couldn't turn. It wouldn't let me turn to the right to get like do the U-turn to get out from the back. So I had to do like a shimmy, like 10-point turn while the rear end won't move. And eventually it just like released. It was like bam, and it just all unloaded. I was like, maybe the locker's doing something weird, and it's like just completely bound up. No, the pinion bearing was basically gone. There was almost nothing left. It must have wedged a couple of the needles like together in one spot, and it just wouldn't let it go. So yeah, I fixed that. That's all good. And then I cut the nose off, or cut the bumper off, because I'm changing that up. Put a new panels on the front. Put new doors on. My B pillar's fucked, so I got to pull the B pillar out if I want it to fit at all. I already threw out the other door, so I don't really have a choice. I kind of have to make that one work. Fix the bump stops. Put a proper hydro line in. Put actual bolts on the rear calipers. I should probably change the one caliper that's been super fucked for a while and put like new pads on it, and pretend to care about brakes in the rear. And then it should. Oh, it's got a weird running issue too. I don't know what's up with it. Initially I thought it was electrical, but I'm not so sure anymore, because it seems like it's almost a fuel pressure issue, which might make sense. It just it like loads up on fuel, if that makes any sense. It's strange. And it's only after it's been running for like 3-4 minutes. Usually it starts up no problem, runs, but then as it warms up, it starts to like run a little shittier, and then it just, any inconvenience, it'll just stall. It'll just die outright. And I noticed that when we were doing the go fast shit, because it would just out of nowhere sometimes just start sputtering. So I don't know if I've got like a pinch line, or I'm getting too much fuel because of something weird going on with like a map sensor, and then I was like wiggling on a harness, and it was cycling the ignition, which didn't make any sense. So that's why I thought it was electrical, but I haven't looked at it really at all. I just, it runs enough for me to move it around. So that's all I needed to do. Pulled the reds off of it, put the pats on it from the blue Jeep, have Nittos for it, trying to sell the Patagonias so I can get some nicer bead locks, so I can put the Nittos on a nicer bead lock, and then have some fun with those this year, and be able to drive through mud.
Don't buy Coopers.
Yeah, I won't do that. Don't worry. I already made that mistake on the truck. I had to go from a Falcon to I got a Cooper Stronghold on it now, and 2 of them already have like really subtle like sidewall deformities that I'm not super happy about. So yeah, don't
killer luck with the Cooper fucking XLs though. I don't know.
Yeah, the Cooper Stronghold's like the first tire that like, because Goodyear bought Cooper, I don't know when, but it's like the first like at least from what the tire dealer was telling me, or tire vendor, I guess. Is it's like their first sort of combination tire. So it's a Cooper tire in brand, but it's a Goodyear tire in like some of its production processes.
I'm hoping I could sell mine because I had just put the new one on. Now I'd like to Go Forth has some SX2 stickies and 42s. Now I know they're not the greatest sticky. Apparently a lot of people don't like them because it's not the same compound. It's harder sticky. But I figure he's selling them for $550 a tire out the door. That's hard to beat for a sticky. I mean, that's got to be better than a DOT that slices a sidewall on nothing.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I figured if I could sell mine and get, half the money for it, which I don't see that being hard to get at least, $1,200 for a set of
and it's
newer
too. Fuck it.
I can't even sell my Patagonias on wheels for fucking $1,000. All I get is
How
fucking
big are they?
flakes. Huh?
How big are they?
I got a set of 4 of them for free.
Yeah, it's an 8x10.5, or Jesus Christ, 8x170. So it's a goofy, like it's a load range C. You're not going to put those on a pickup truck.
Oh yeah. See, I have the same tire. It's a 38, but they're really like a 36. I got 4 of them for free from work. So I was like, hey, I got spare steel wheels. There's 38's better spare than no spare.
Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping to sell them, but if I can, I'll just keep them as rollers. Everything I have is 8x170, or if I need to switch tires around, at least I have something I can swap onto something else. So I'm not like, I won't be mad if I have to keep it. I'll just have to pull some money from the YJ to buy those beadlocks, which I was hoping to not have to do, but
you're not going to make the mistake of buying some steel beadlocks again, are you?
Oh no, we're buying Aluma boys.
Hot boy.
Yep.
Hell yeah. I am going to buy some brake lines, and that's going to be the extent of my upgrades for the rest of the year because I ate
brake
the
lines are good. That's a good upgrade.
Did you ever figure out which one it was?
I'm chalking it up to both of them because they both drip.
Well, that's probably a good start.
However, I ran the truck low on diesel. The truck got filled up when I got paid, and it plugged the fuel filter and ate the injection pump and the fucking lift pump. So that one hurt.
Oh, while I'm thinking about it, since you've talked about it forever and I did it, if you own a manual, spend the $45 fucking on Amazon and buy a hydro e-brake. That thing, it makes life so much better wheeling. I have loved every second since I've done that thing. It is nice.
What do you need a hydro e-brake for?
Instead of being, like a hand throttle, it's real nice to use on like a ledge, so you don't fall off a ledge before you can clutch kick it. You just hold yourself in place. It's come in handy, and making turns on gravel roads is a whole lot more fun too.
I just slip it the whole way. You just slip, rev it up, and then let go.
Well, some of us aren't skilled enough for that, Graham.
Oh, well,
I mean, the retard can pull it off, so I expect you to be able to pull it off.
I was going to say, I know Luke can do it.
Well, I mean,
Luke doesn't have anything fancy in that thing. He's lucky he's even got a steering wheel.
I have a Bose sound bar, thank you.
Oh, he's coming up in the world. He's got some tech in there.
Well, I mean, it's not like you have to do it. I definitely can slip it, but I found it's much nicer. Like if it's on something like, hey, don't roll back or you're going to fuck up. It's nice just to have that little extra, like, I can just hold this and it's not going to move. And it was $40, and you just cut a brake line and put it in line with the rear.
That's not bad.
But Luke's been talking about it Luke's talked about it for years now. I was like, it's $40. I'm going to just do it because the motor was already out of the thing. I was already doing a bunch of stuff. I was like, I might as well just put this in real quick. And I've used it once. Once I've used it the first time. Now every trail I'm using it for something stupid.
I've used I have a little electric one, but it doesn't hold that much pressure, so it's really only good if I'm like on a slight incline and I just need to like hop out of it and keep it running, right? It's not something I would trust to do like a dig or hold me on a ledge or anything like that. I know like the manual ones are definitely better for that scenario, so
Well, though I have it in line, so if
Mhm.
I don't hit my foot brake and then pull it first, the master it's meant for like a Miata, so it won't lock up the rear unless
Mhm.
I step on the pedal first and then pull it. So
Yeah.
what I found to use it real nice, instead of like if you're going down a big ledge, I found that if I just hold it, it drags the rear enough to where it's kind of like a suck down in the rear,
Mhm.
and that's what I've mainly used it for. And it makes it just feel a little better inside.
Huh. Makes sense. I mean, you're putting pressure on that and it otherwise wouldn't have any, so
It seems like it's been an awesome upgrade. I want to do it. I just don't fucking care. And at this point, like, the only thing that I'm ever going to do with that Jeep is just barely keep it together for the rest of this season. Or, well, I guess the only thing I'm doing for the rest of this season, because I'm still trying to do the house stuff and I'm still trying to, like, get everything else figured out. So
yeah.
caring about whether or not I have a hydro brake is not really high on my list of shit to care about.
It
Yeah.
sounds pretty easy though. Just need a little bit of brake line and a $40 Amazon China trinket.
And
It
I
is.
have the fittings at the house. Actually, I think it's on sale for $32 right now.
It's not complicated at all to do. I've got the T right there that goes to the rear axle. I just have to tee it into the soft line that's the connector joint there, and it would work perfectly fine. I can get it done in a little while. It's literally just a... You know how many weeks it took me to wash that fucking thing after we got back from Windrock? 2. I washed it on fucking Sunday. Or whatever fucking day it was. I have not given an iota of a flying fuck about that thing just because it's been like one thing after the fucking next with everything else that I got going on. So it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
that
cool.
makes sense.
It wheels. I know that if I fix those 2 rear brake lines that are fucked up, I can just go throw it on the trailer and go wheeling again. I really don't even care that it's down a cylinder. It still's got enough horsepower to smoke 40s, so it's good enough.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, my excuse with my shit is I've been trying to get the YJ done. That's just the little integrations and the wiring. I definitely underestimated the amount of time that was going to take. And then this winter was just especially cold, so I just was a little slower than I would have liked to do a lot of the stuff that I needed to do over the winter to get the motor in and all that stuff. Like looking back at it, you're like, yeah, it wasn't that complicated, but we just had we had to move out of the apartment, do a bunch of other shit, so that takes a week, and that's gone, and then it's cold the next one, when it's 10 degrees, those weeks are like a wash. I'm not it's like I'm not heating the shop up just so I can go there for 2 hours and work on it. Like just wait for it to be 25 at least or something so I can have some semblance of heat and other stuff. So get that all done. I did the math on it the other day. I've probably put it's a conservative estimate. I definitely have more hours in it, but I have, as far as stuff that I know is billable that I've done, it's like 141 hours in that swap in its entirety, plus like a couple little odds and ends. I just swapped or add a leaf to the leaf pack to make it sit level because it was sitting like a rat rod when I put the new engine in it. The front springs were smoked and um yeah, it looked stupid. So Ryan gave me a set of leaf spring or a set of leaves out of a pack from something, and they work perfect right under the main leaf on the YJ. So it's sitting right now. I have 99% of the wiring done. There's like a couple little things I just want to check on. I'm really happy with how I got it all integrated into the gauges. It's running the Cherokee PDC, Cherokee ECU, Cherokee TCM. I have all of the gauges wired into separate sensors on the engine, reading back. The only and the speedo I still have. It should work. It's probably working on the Cherokee side. I don't think it translates to the YJ cluster like it's supposed to, which is annoying. But I got to check to see if it reads correctly from the Cherokee side, and if it does, then I know that's sorted. But it may also just need to be wired differently. The wire, I kind of just guess which wire goes where based on like a couple pictures on the internet. It's one of those stupid like TJ style SYEs now. So it's got that Hall sensor, and somebody just cut the clip off of it, so I didn't really have anything to go off of. So yeah, I got that, and I can't. I don't think you can physically make a TAC work from a newer 2000 plus 4.0 onto an older Jeep. I just don't think there's any signal that is compatible with the cluster to make that work because of no distributor. If I had a distributor, I could run a converter or something off of the distributor to get me the signal I need, but because it's a coil pack, I don't think there's any way to get that. I can get the coil signal, but from what I understand, it's not something that's translatable into YJ speak on the dash. So
sounds like it's not worth messing with.
No, and he's got a little OBD2 thing he'll just use for the TAC, and it's an auto too, so it doesn't even really matter. Like, who gives a shit? You'll know if it's running too loud, or if it's spooled up to like $5,000, you're gonna know. Like,
as long as the TCM sees what it needs to see, it'll shift itself.
Yeah. So, between all those things, it's just about done. Like I said, I'm trying to get it out. Before the end of this week. I don't think he can grab it this weekend. So if I don't have it done on Friday, then I'll just give it to him the week after or something. But yeah, once that's done, I get some money. I'll move on to the next project and have some money for my shit. Hopefully here. And,
Richie, have your monies up.
Yeah, I don't want to do any
I
more.
got some monies.
I don't want to do any more 140-hour projects for a couple months. Please. 140 hours is a lot. But then, I don't know, if I've had that thing since last July. So it's been in there almost a year. So you're thinking 141 hours and it's been there a year. That's not that much. But I don't know. I figure the most I can get in a day on that thing is realistically, if I'm there for 4 hours, probably billing like 2 hours, maybe 3 before I have to, pack it up. So if you think about it that way, that's a good chunk of time considering I didn't use a ton of time in the winter, or I had to, I cut the nose off the blue Jeep. I moved some shit around. Like, not every day was dedicated to that thing. I had to like do some shit on the truck. I got to do, right. So like 70 something days dedicated to that at 2-ish hours a day is not an insignificant amount of time overall. At least in my mind, with my current just schedule. It'd be one thing if I had, a garage outside my home or apartment that I could just walk to and just drive home from work. But it's tougher when I have to make the choice after work. Am I going to go work on shit, or am I going to go home? Am I going to go talk on the podcast, or am I going to go do whatever, right? That, I have to make that decision because it's not worth me driving back after making dinner, doing whatever. It's 8 o'clock.
Hey, that decision, even if it's attached to your house, that decision to actually walk outside doesn't get much easier.
But when
at first, it definitely is like that. And then it's like, it's hot as fuck. I'm not going outside. This AC feels too good.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess the grass is always greener on the other side, but it would be nice to not have to drive half an hour anytime I wanted to do anything.
Oh yeah, no, I've been there, done that, and I get that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It is
part of
nice being able to just walk out the back door, like, all right, I'm in here. Turn some music on and get to work.
And like
Or
stupid
if
little
you're
shit. Like I found, like especially when I was in the weeds on the electrical shit. Like I had my laptop over there, but there's sometimes I wish I could just go over to the desktop with 2 monitors and just like open a bunch of shit up, figure out what I need to do, print a page, go back out and wire it, right? There were so many times where I'm like, well, I've got my phone, like a bar and a half of service, and my laptop, which is slow because I don't have any service, and now I have to wait for these pages to load, and maybe it'll tell me what I need to do or where I need to plug these things in. It was pretty nerve wracking getting that thing all wired together and being like, all right, I hope I have this wired correctly and I don't just cook something.
please don't smoke. Don't smoke.
Yeah. Unfortunately, as of right now, I have not cooked anything. I did cook a 20 amp fuse because a wire touched a wire that it shouldn't have touched, and that was easily fixed. Other than that, and that was like way after everything had been wired in. I was like trying to figure out why the OBD2 port wouldn't work, and the OBD2 on a Cherokee is hooked to a 20 amp fuse along with what's the other thing? Something that was not relevant to what we were doing. It was like a junction block fuse for like a couple other things in the cab of a Cherokee that's unrelated in a YJ. Like it's just basically a fuse for the OBD2 and that's it. 20 amp is a little excessive, but that must have touched another one, so it just blew that 20 amp. And I'm sitting there like looking at all my wiring, trying to figure out like what's going on. Why don't I have power to the OBD2? Like it should have, like the circuit's all there. Like I traced the wire back to the PDC. Like everything was where it was supposed to be. I just didn't have any power on it. And Buckley was with me at the time, and he was like, "Oh, this one's blown. Did you know that?" I was like, "Which one?" He's like, "This 20 amp." I was like, "That's the fucking one. That's the OBD2 fuse. That's the one." So I'm just so deep in it. I'm not even looking at fuses half the time because some of the stuff just straight up isn't connected. Or
it's always
the
easy,
prior.
simple stuff too. That you're like,
I know.
It can't be that.
Yeah, and I had to, like, the hazards weren't working, right? And I was going, I'm like, why the fuck are the blinkers working but the hazards aren't? Like, there's no reason for that. I was like, pulled up the diagrams, and I'm like, well, the power for the hazards goes to the column on a YJ from this wire, and when you pull the switch, it does a bunch of shit at once, and it like switches where the power is going to make that work. I was like, well, that definitely has power because it's working on that. So it must be like further down on, like, that wire just must have an issue that's feeding the hazards from the fuse block on the firewall in there. And sure enough, fucking the plug was like corroded and it was not working only for the hazards. It was working for the flashers. So yeah, just stupid shit. Like that was unrelated. Like that had nothing to do with my wiring, and everything was wired correctly. It just, had been sitting for so fucking long that it corroded up. So yeah, it's I don't know. I would definitely be faster at it if I had to do it again, but I don't really have any desire to convert any more Jeeps to OBD2 from OBD1. But it's doable, and it has opened my eyes to how fucked the wiring in my Cherokee is. But I don't know if I'm going to fix that. So
That's a problem for future Graham.
Yeah, exactly. What else? What else can we talk about here?
I was gonna say, hey, it is been 2 hours already. We kind of covered a metric fuck ton of shit. Y'all got anything else that you want to cover, or you want to start wrapping it up?
Well, it's time to start doing these again often instead of going 4 months in between them, Luke.
No,
just
bitching.
because your life sucks doesn't mean everybody else has to have a shitty, sucky life.
Hey, all of the tools to record these exist, and all of the people that have been involved in recording them are more than welcome to use those tools, and I will edit it if I am not available for it. I am
I'm just
slightly
kidding.
mortified by what I'm going to walk in to find, but, like, I'm pretty sure I can figure out how to cut something. I might actually have to listen to the entire episode before I go publishing it, but, our old editor didn't do that, so maybe this one should.
Well, just remember, it's the Jews' fault.
Good Lord, Logan. I'm not cutting that, but Jesus fucking Christ, dude.
The only final word I have is as I would like thoughts and prayers for the Dodge Dana 70. It's making bad noises. I've run it out of oil twice. And it sounds really grumbly.
Are we spelling thoughts THOT, or are we spelling it different?
Yeah, I think that's simpler. I think our special needs audience will prefer the shorter spelling.
Okay, because we are also special needs ourselves, so it's kind of hard to figure this one out.
I was gonna say the IQ of 3 of us in this so far barely equal half of what Graham's IQ is.
I don't know my IQ. It could be like single digits. We don't know.
Well, the statement still stands.
You got to give yourself credit, Graham. You are a fucking nerd.
Yeah, I mean, your username for a while was nerd. So,
I don't know, I'm a Gremboni now.
Yeah.
Like a Zamboni, but
I got to drive one of those. You want to talk about a special ed fucking, checklist item. I think I sent you the Snapchat of that, Logan, of me just fucking ripping around on the Zamboni. Those things don't move very fast. That was wide open.
In what context would you have the option to drive a Zamboni?
It's one of the floor cleaning ones, not for ice, but it's like a mini one.
Okay.
I got to drive a mini floor.
I stole a street sweeper once.
I stole Alexis's pictures of Graham, and they're on my phone, and I look at them every night before I go to bed.
Yeah, the fucking retro vibes were.
Yeah, the JCPenney specials.
Yeah, I made sure to leave a comment on that, and I said, "She sure is a lucky girl to get a man like that."
The best part for at least for us, I think, doing that is I went and I got I was gonna get I knew I was gonna get a haircut because we had planned this earlier in the week. She's like, we're gonna go do it on whenever day, Saturday or something. And I was like, okay, cool. I'll just go Saturday morning, get my hair cut, to make myself look a little less shaggy, more presentable. And the guy just gave me I've never had it. I don't know. I'm embracing it at this point. It's funny. I like it, but it was like a straight mushroom cut. I have never gotten a haircut that was so bad. And I don't know. Initially, he had it kind of combed back, because I've always had the sides a little shorter and I kept the top a little longer. I don't know. I just didn't really think anything of it until I got out and I got home, and I was like, oh shit, this is very undercut on the sides and there is way too much on the top. But it was we had 30 minutes before we had to be at JCPenney's. It's okay, just go with the mushroom cut, and it made the pictures that much funnier. It was.
You mean to tell me that wasn't on purpose?
Well, yeah,
could have fooled me.
We kind of just rolled with it. Like I said, it added to the feel. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe I just always get a mushroom cut from now on. Hey, easy maintenance. Just put the bowl on your head and cut.
Yeah, go to town. It's bedtime. This was supposed to be short and sweet.
I mean, it was only 2 hours, so that's not really doing all that bad. On that note, gentlemen, you know, two in the pink, one in the stink. Let it eat.